Sorry. What time do you call this, Spitfire? Anyway, what is up, guys, and welcome back to F1 2016 Mobile Career Mode. After 2 weeks, yes, I've not forgotten about this series. I've just been enjoying Monoposto, so therefore I've been doing lots of that recently. However, now we've got to give this series some love as well. So we're going to have a couple of back-to-back episodes, I think, starting with today for the 70th anniversary Grand Prix at Silverstone. Yes, happy birthday F1. We are back at Silverstone. We were here in the last episode, as you can see. And in the next race, we'll be in Spain. So I'm sure you've probably all forgotten what happened in the last episode. So I'm going to tell you now. We absolutely dominated my home race and we won the British Grand Prix, and we currently have a really big lead in the championship. I think it's nearly 30 points, around 30 points, so we're looking really comfortable. So this weekend is all about keeping that momentum going and not falling too far behind the Mercedes.
Welcome to Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. This iconic track held the very first World Championship Formula One race back in 1950, and it's a firm favourite amongst the fans and drivers alike.
Well, it appears this 2-week hiatus from this game means I've forgotten how to qualify. We are only P13. On Saturday, we were knocked out in Q2. I'll be honest, I was very disappointed with that. That's not what I expected after we performed so well in the last episode. In terms of strategy, we're just going for a 1-stop. We went for a 2-stop last time when we had the pace. However, I think it could be a lot harder in this Grand Prix. Apologies if there's any lag, as we are now underway for the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. It's a bit of a mediocre start, to be honest, off the line, but I'm going to try and keep my nose clean if you go through the first couple of corners. We know the AI are always a little bit unpredictable here, as we are just following Valtteri Bottas at the moment. It looks like I've gone from 13th up into 10th as we go round the outside at Village, and just trying to watch what the AI are doing. I think there's a McLaren on my outside there. They're going 3 wide ahead between Sainz, Bottas and Perez. If these 3 are going to scrap, then who knows, we may be able to gain some extra positions, and it looks like we're going to get 2 drivers there. We've got Checo and Carlos as we head up towards turn. Yeah, I'm hopeless with the corners at Silverstone. I know which corner was that we just went through. Honestly, I can't remember. I'm not going to try and remember. Anyway, Perez got up the inside of 2 drivers, myself and Felipe Massa. But either way, we're up into P9, so it has been a very respectable start. Both Williams go wide into Copse, make that P7, and that 6th place is gained already. So yeah, this has been a really good start to this Grand Prix. I'm now being pressurised by Valtteri Bottas. The Williams driver is going to go up the inside into Maggots and Beckett's. Well, to be honest, there's not really a lot that I can do about that. I don't really have the same speed as the AI here this weekend. Silverstone, notoriously, traditionally, is a very strong track for the AI on this game. Here comes Sainz, but whoa, I don't know what happens to him. Look in the right wing mirror. He suddenly backed off or went onto the grass or something, as I completely lose the car on the curb there. So I'm really struggling, actually. I don't know why, but I seem to be struggling a lot more in this race than I was in the last one. We're now on to lap 5, and I'm trying to stick my nose up the inside of the Force India. Perez gives me the squeeze, chops me off at the apex, and that means I have to back off. But we'll wait again and go for the same move on the next lap. One driver was in the pits. I think it was my teammate on that previous lap. I've gone a little bit excursion off the track that time, and once again, there's the same result involving Perez slamming the door firmly closed. As we pass the old pit lane and go to the old pit straight, the Mexican drivers really pulled away. And in terms of, well, the gap behind is not a lot, actually. Nico Hülkenberg is coming. Look at the overspeed the German driver has through Copse corner, and he's going to take the position. And then, to be honest, I'm not going to fight that one again. There's not a lot I can do. The Force India just seems to be driving really well at this circuit this weekend, so I'm just going to bide my time. I'm probably going to pit at the end of this lap anyway. Look at the tyre wear. completely going wide. And yeah, we're just going to ditch these tyres, go on to the mediums. It's going to be a one-stop today just because I want to see if I can still get myself back into the points by making one less pit stop. And then just defend, keep track position. 2.1 seconds, a pretty good stop from the boys. As I was saying, for me when I'm recording this audio now, the video is extremely laggy, so I'm going to reiterate again my apologies that I don't know if it's going to be laggy for you guys when you're watching it. If it is, I'm very sorry. I don't know why. Blame InShot, because it certainly wasn't laggy like this when I was recording. I don't know why it does this. I think it's an absolute pain in the arse as well, if it's any consolation, but we digress. There's not a lot we can do. I've come out of the pit lane in P19. I think there was a little bit of the pit lane glitch occurring. That's a nice move. I had to take a breath then. And we're going to go up the inside of Kevin Magnussen, get the elbows out on the Danish driver. And in fact, that allowed Carlos Sainz to squeeze through as well. So that was a nice double overtake there. I think, is that Brooklands and Woodcote? Possibly. Yes, am I remembering those correctly? I don't know. It's been a long day. Through Copse, Alonso's about to go wheel to wheel with Danny Kvyat, so hopefully we could try and pick up the scraps and maybe even make a move on one of these guys. We're going to make a really nice dive up the inside of Alonso there into Beckett's corner. That was lovely. I was really impressed with that one actually. And we've now got DRS wide open on the Toro Rosso. The Russian driver goes defensive, but to be honest, he's not got the same speed as the senior Red Bull car. We chop him off at the apex, and there you go. We've just made 4 overtakes in a lap. So, I tell you what, we seem to have got much better pace on this second stint. Or maybe it's just that we're making our way through cars which are generally a lot slower than us. We've got Felipe Nasr next in the Sauber. Again, one of the worst cars in the game. So, I'm hoping this overtake is not going to be too difficult to make. But, who knows? As we've said, it's very unpredictable as this game. The car speeds are not always the same. Again, if there's a bit of lag, I don't know why. Up the inside, really aggressive, squeeze out the Brazilian driver at the apex. And there we go. That's the move up into P13. As we're now going to go wheel to wheel with my teammate Max Verstappen on lap number 8. The Red Bull driver is really squeezing me harsh onto the grass. I do a switchback and then send it up the inside at the final chicane. I really like that move as well. And Verstappen cannot respond. And I've moved up into 11th place. This is a nice recovery drive. But on the next lap, Verstappen tries to hold it round the outside at Stowe. We're going to go wheel to wheel towards the final chicane again. I'm nearly squeezed onto the grass. I have to brake later and go deep. Max backs out, thankfully, but I will maintain the position for now. This is turning into a really good scrap with my teammate, actually, as we fly onto the Hamilton straight for the 11th time of 13 this afternoon. Verstappen using the slipstream. He tries to go up the inside into turn 1. I leave the door open for my Dutch teammate, but he doesn't take the space, and I hold the outside line. And yeah, we're up into the penultimate lap. I've taken far too much curb there. That's going to leave me vulnerable to Max Verstappen. He still hasn't got past me yet. We now are up into 8th position though, and that's due to the fact that more drivers in front of us have been on a 2-stop strategy. So the 1-stops worked. We've managed to gain track position considering we started outside the top 10. We could be on our way to some points again. I've gone very deep there. Verstappen seizes the opportunity and he takes 8th place away from me. And to be honest, I'm not really going to fight it just because it's my teammate. We need to make sure that we don't collide and bring home maximum points for the team that we can, which unfortunately today looks like it's probably only going to be P8 and P9 because Jenson Button's over 7 seconds up the road. As we're on to the final lap of the Grand Prix, I've taken my first corner cutting warning of the race because the tyre wear's kicking in now, going through Maggotts and Beckett's, as Lewis Hamilton wins at Silverstone and he clinches the 70th anniversary Grand Prix for Mercedes. They've had a bit of a shaky start to the season. That's his first win of the season. I've nearly lost the car again. But I'm sure Mercedes are now very much back to their brilliant best. Although I believe Rosberg was not on the podium. So, nevertheless, with only 6 points collectively as a team, I've gone from P13 to P9. Max is P8. It does mean that unfortunately we have lost the lead in the Constructors' Championship. And here is the final classification of the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. We finished P9, Hamilton won the race. It was a 2-3 for Ferrari, Raikkonen and Vettel, Hulkenberg P4. Fair play, Force India have had a great car this weekend. Rosberg only 5th, Perez P6. As I said, great points for Force India. Then it was Button, Verstappen, myself and Bottas with the final points. Then missing out on the points was pretty much all the usual runners, to be honest. No big names outside the top 10 today, and Danny Kvyat was completing the field. I've still got an 11-point lead in the championship. Hamilton moves himself up into P2 today in front of his teammates. With that race victory, Verstappen still only 11th in the standings, and there's still 5 drivers yet to feature in the top 10 this season. And the constructors were now 28 points behind Mercedes. Oh dear, I think we're only leading by a point though coming into this race anyway, but nevertheless that's disappointing. We're a third of the way through the season, so it's kind of starting to take shape a bit, but we've also got to now look over our shoulders at Ferrari, who are just 14 points behind us. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe if you did enjoy it. I will try and keep this series going as much as I can, as well as Monoposto. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram or join my Discord server. Both links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Goodbye.